guys, so today I'm back from not posting in like forever. I know you guys are probably annoyed by me saying this in every video, but in 2022 I'm going to try harder to actually post more, but I don't know. My life is crazy, we'll see how it goes. But today I'm talking about 8 things that Leopard Geckos love. A little disclaimer, like I say in a lot of my videos, this might not apply to every Leopard Gecko because different Leopard Geckos tend to have different personalities, and really it depends on the Leopard Gecko, and just don't take my word for it on all of these things. So a lot of these things might help people that are struggling with their Leopard Gecko, like hating them. Some of these things are also just things that will make your Leopard Gecko happier maybe, or just be more stimulating for them. So that's what I'm talking about today. Also, I'm going to be a little more brief than I normally am in my videos because personally, at least, I am annoyed by my rambling in my videos. Maybe you guys are too. So I'm going to try to be a little bit more brief, but I am rambling right now. So let's just get into this video. The first one is variation. So I'm talking kind of generally here, like some Leopard Geckos are going to like better variation in their feeder insects. They aren't going to like to be eating the same feeder insects all the time. Some Leopard Geckos can be picky and won't really like variation that much, but a lot of Leopard Geckos like it if you can provide a few different kinds of feeder insects for them to eat. And also, some Leopard Geckos like it when you can kind of change up their enclosure here and there, kind of add some more variation to their life, because I imagine it could get pretty boring if you're literally stuck in a glass box for your entire life. So if you can kind of like change things up in their diet or just their enclosure here and there, that might be more stimulating for them, and also just make them be more happy and less bored all the time. And yeah, not all Leopard Geckos are gonna like this. Some Leopard Geckos are absolutely resistant to any sort of change. That's like my Leopard Gecko Mocha, she just hates any sort of change. But a lot of Leopard Geckos do like variation in multiple ways. The next one is climbing. So a lot of Leopard Geckos love to climb. Not all, of course, but it can be great sometimes if you can provide like climbing things in their enclosure. They can also make use of that vertical space, which can be great. And a lot of Leopard Geckos really like to explore and climb around their enclosure. So you can add things like hammocks or driftwood or cork bark, and it can really be stimulating for your Leopard Gecko. And Leopard Geckos also generally just kind of like more decor in their enclosure sometimes because they feel more secure. So the next one is basking. So despite what some people say, Leopard Geckos do like to bask sometimes. It can be great if you can provide a DP projector or a halogen lamp and put a piece of slate under it, or maybe even make your own slate hide like I did for Isri, and that can be a great basking platform for them to just soak up that heat. And a lot of Leopard Geckos really love to bask, and it can be really great for them if you can provide that. So next one is gentle handling. So a lot of Leopard Geckos do like to be handled, and a lot of them will want to be handled. If you handle them gently and you handle them regularly, they're likely to warm up to you, and some will actually want you to handle them. Of course, not all Leopard Geckos, but a lot of them will enjoy handling, and that's another thing that they like a lot of the time. And a lot of times the more regularly you handle your Leopard Gecko, the better they'll actually like it. And if you rarely ever handle your Leopard Gecko, don't really expect them to like you that much, because they're just not going to be used to it. They might not be comfortable with it if you don't handle them enough. So yeah, it's great if you can handle them a little more regularly, and that can make them warm up to you a little bit better. So the next one is waxworms. So you should probably be careful with this because waxworms are not too healthy for Leopard Geckos, and they can be pretty fatty. So if you feed too many of them, it could lead to obesity, and that's definitely not something you want to deal with. And also there is such thing as waxworm addiction in leopard geckos, which is when a leopard gecko gets so used to eating waxworms all the time that they don't want to eat anything else, and you definitely do not want to deal with that either. So try not to feed your leopard gecko too much, just limit the amount of waxworms you feed them. I'd recommend only like once a week at the most, because you really want to be careful about feeding your leopard gecko too much, especially with fatty insects. I would definitely keep it to a minimum, but waxworms are pretty great treats. That's another thing that leopard geckos absolutely love. My leopard geckos, I haven't fed waxworms to them in a while, but my leopard geckos go absolutely crazy for them whenever I feed them. So next one is hunting. So in the wild, leopard geckos hunt for their insects, so a lot of times they will like to hunt, and even if you don't just let the insects run around in the enclosure, even if you hand feed or tongue feed, which I would recommend, you can still let your leopard gecko kind of hunt for their insects by sort of moving the tongs or even your hands around with the insects and sort of letting your leopard gecko sort of chase after it to get it. And it's great. It's good exercise, making them work for their food, and a lot of times they really will like that if their prey is moving around more. And you can even do this outside of your leopard gecko's enclosure too, and it could let them know that you're not really a threat and make them want to be handled more. And I've heard some people get a plastic bin and put their leopard gecko in it and put the feeder insects in the bin and just let their leopard gecko kind of hunt the insects in there. But some leopard geckos don't like eating outside their enclosure, like my leopard gecko Mocha. But yeah, that's another good way to just make your leopard gecko not so bored. Another thing leopard geckos love is room to explore. So if you can, I would definitely recommend you get a larger enclosure, like I've said before. I'd say a 36 by 18 by 18 inch enclosure is a great size if you can go that big. If you can go bigger than that even, that's awesome, but some people can't go that big. A 20 gallon is okay if you don't have the money for a larger enclosure, but if you do have the money for a larger enclosure, it's really great if you can provide that for your leopard gecko, because a lot of times they do really like room to explore, and when they're in a smaller enclosure like a 20 gallon, a lot of times they don't really have that much room to move around, so they just will kind of stay in one hide sometimes. So it's great if you can provide a bigger enclosure, and a lot of times they really will like that. Last one is loose substrate. Sometimes when you first introduce your leopard geckos to loose substrate, after you're using a solid substrate, they won't always like it at first, but a lot of leopard geckos will love loose substrate. Digging is sort of a natural thing for them in the wild, so a lot of leopard geckos will dig in loose substrate, and it's just a great thing because it's a lot more like their natural habitat, and a lot of times they just will really like the digging enrichment. And yeah, they tend to be more comfortable in places that are more similar to their natural habitat, and it's really great if you can provide loose substrate. And I just would really recommend loose substrate over any other substrate, preferably a topsoil play sand mix, or there are a few other options out there, but yeah, it's great if you can provide something similar to the natural habitat, because they normally will be a lot happier in a place that is more like what they would actually experience in the wild. So yeah, I think that's about it, guys, and if you haven't seen my other video I did about 8 things leopard geckos hate, I would recommend you check that video out. And if you aren't subscribed already, don't forget to push that button and push the bell to get notified when I post a new video. And yeah, I am hoping to be able to post more this year. And if you have any questions, make sure to leave them in the comment section below and I'll try to answer them. And yeah, I would really appreciate any comments. As always, hope you guys have a great day, and bye!